name's Ian Miller and I'm the principal of MILPERA State High School. The students at the school here are truly fantastic. They come from a broad, diverse range of ethnic backgrounds, and they all love coming to MILPERA. They come here for their English language learning, and they come here for improvement to their settlement, and that's indicated by their attendance, which is at 95%, which is one of the best, if not the best, for a state high school in Queensland. HEAL is the on-site trauma unit at school. So HEAL is funded by MILPERA State High School, and it includes the head teacher, Jane Griffin, who's also a qualified therapist. And she leads a team of therapists, occupational therapists, musical therapists, for example. And between the group of people, they work with students who are experiencing trauma from their refugee backgrounds.
I think MILPERA is special, even starting from its name, which means meeting place of brothers and sisters. And the other thing about MILPERA is it's not the school where students stay, it's a transition school. So it has a very specific role to welcome and to nurture and to settle and to educate and then manage a really smooth transition into another place. We believe that school normalises life for young people, and if you can get into school and have a normal day and have your therapy at school, and using a form, a mode that you choose and does not necessarily involve language.
Art and music therapy are very appealing to our population. One reason that it's successful here is because kids love art and they love music. But art therapy and music therapy are approaches which have a lot of research behind them, which have been shown to be able to make the difference.
It also takes away some of the pressure on use of language. So working creatively means that we're not having to use English all the time, although language is obviously still an important part of the therapy process. It just does lift some of the pressure off having to be able to express yourself in another language. If you can draw about it, if you can make music about it. Sometimes, actually the therapeutic process in itself only requires that. We don't always need to hear all the story. We don't need to have all the words sometimes. Actually, being creative is a healing process in itself.
And the kids who we see have come from refugee camp life, or they've come from war, or they've had multiple dislocations in their life because of war. So they suffer things like grief because of lost family members. They've often had interpersonal violence firsthand or to family members.
But we find that students really engage extremely well in creative therapies. It's not threatening. HEAL is great because it's part of the school program, part of the school environment. So by being school-based, we're sort of overcoming a lot of the barriers around stigma of accessing mental health services, as well as the practical barriers that our students would face.
One of the interesting things about MILPERA, which tells us that it's successful at what it does, is once a year they have a Back to MILPERA afternoon, and on that afternoon any past students are welcome to come back and visit their teachers and their school. And we always get hundreds of them coming back. And they always express their love for their teachers and their school at that time and their therapists. And I think that's a beautiful thing, and that tells us that what's going on here is working.